What if I told you there's a country where over 750 tribes still follow ancient traditions? Some even cut their skin to look like crocodiles. Where birds of paradise aren't just rare wildlife, but symbols woven into ceremonial headdresses. Where, as recently as 2012, 29 people were arrested for ritual cannibalism, and where the jungle isn't just wild, it hides creatures so unique they've never been seen anywhere else on Earth. This is not a lost world fantasy. This is Papua New Guinea. Join us as we explore the most bizarre and amazing facts about Papua New Guinea in today's travel documentary. Where men become crocodiles. In the Sepik River region, young men mark their passage into adulthood through a breathtaking and painful ritual, crocodile scarification. In sacred spirit houses, initiates lie still as elders cut intricate patterns into their backs, shoulders, and torsos using sharp bamboo or razor blades. The goal? To resemble the powerful skin of a crocodile, an animal deeply revered as a spiritual ancestor. The cuts, made in long rows, raise into thick welts that take weeks to heal. During recovery, the young men are kept in isolation, fed special diets, and taught tribal values, hunting techniques, and spiritual wisdom. When they emerge, they're no longer boys, they're warriors. This is not performance or showmanship. It's identity carved into skin, pride worn as a permanent mark. The pain is considered necessary. A boy's blood is said to be removed, replaced with strength. Would you endure this to be called a man? Comment with number 1 if yes. Cannibal cults and the Kuru curse. As recently as 2012, police in Papua New Guinea arrested 29 people for participating in a secret cannibal cult. They were suspected of killing and eating 7 victims as part of a ritualistic practice. While shocking, this wasn't entirely new. In the highlands, especially among the Fore people, ritual cannibalism once had spiritual meaning. Eating the body of the deceased was thought to preserve their spirit and keep them close. But this custom came with terrifying consequences. In the mid-20th century, doctors discovered a deadly disease called Kuru, which only affected certain remote communities. Symptoms included tremors, loss of control, and eventually, death. It was traced to the act of consuming human brain tissue. Over time, natural selection gave rise to genetic resistance in some Fore families, a real-time example of evolution triggered by cultural behavior. Today, the practice has all but disappeared, but its echoes remain in stories, in genetics, and in the minds of those who dare to explore this mysterious land. The Wigmen of the Highlands. In the lush, misty highlands of Papua New Guinea, there exists a tribe known as the Huli Wigmen, and, yes, their name comes from their hair. But these aren't ordinary wigs. Young Huli men spend 18 months growing out their hair in sacred isolation, following strict diets and avoiding physical intimacy to maintain spiritual purity. When the hair reaches its full form, it's carefully shaved off, shaped, and stitched into elaborate circular wigs, decorated with feathers, moss, and vibrant flowers. These wigs are symbols of pride, power, and masculinity. Men may craft multiple wigs throughout life, each representing a different stage of status or achievement. Some wigs are even passed down through generations. The most elaborate are used in ceremonial dances, paired with yellow face paint and red ochre, creating a surreal, almost theatrical appearance. In a modern world rushing forward, the Huli stand still, honoring a code of beauty that's fiercely their own. The bird of paradise is more than a bird. In most places, birds are background noise, but in Papua New Guinea, birds, especially the birds of paradise, are everything. There are over 40 species of these dazzling creatures here, with tails that spiral like ribbons and feathers that shimmer like fire. But these aren't just nature's ornaments. They are sacred. Tribal dances, war regalia, wedding outfits, all draw inspiration from the bird of paradise. Their feathers are used in headdresses that take weeks to construct. Warriors don them during sing-sings, ceremonial gatherings filled with rhythm, color, and ancestral pride. Even the national flag of Papua New Guinea carries the silhouette of this bird mid-flight. It represents freedom, identity, and natural beauty. But sadly, poaching and habitat loss threaten their survival. Still, for now, they soar through the rainforest canopy, as they have for thousands of years, flashing their colors in the morning. Sun, reminding us of a time when nature and spirit danced as one. Shark calling, the oceans whisper in. A few remote coastal villages in Papua New Guinea, there exists an ancient and almost mystical practice. Shark calling, fishermen paddle, out in narrow canoes, chanting in rhythmic tones passed down through generations. Around them, the sea is calm, but the air feels electric. In their hands, they carry special rattles, often made from coconut shells or bamboo, shaken with deliberate motion. The goal? To summon a shark. And it works. Guided by ancestral knowledge, the fishermen draw sharks toward their boats, sometimes spearing them for food, other times simply proving their connection to the sea. It's not just about survival. It's about tradition, identity, and a spiritual relationship with nature. Scientists are still baffled by how effective these rituals are, but locals believe it's because the ocean listens to those who respect it. Would you chant into the ocean to call a shark? Comment 5 if yes. Tattoos of status, power, and pain in Papua New Guinea. Tattoos aren't trendy, they're sacred. Among many tribal groups, tattoos represent everything from marital status to spiritual protection. Some are applied during puberty rites, others after childbirth, warfare, or major life events. Every line, dot, and swirl carries meaning. The process is raw and intimate. Traditional tools include sharpened bone, thorns, or even heated bamboo. Black pigment is rubbed into the open skin, and the pain is seen as part of the rite. Women in particular bear stunning facial and body tattoos, their skin transformed into maps of identity. In places like Oro Province, women once inked their faces with geometric shapes to ward off malevolent spirits and, ironically, colonial missionaries. Today, the tradition is fading, but a revival is beginning. Young Papua New Guineans are rediscovering these designs, blending tradition with pride, reclaiming what colonization tried to erase. These tattoos are not decorations, they are history, resilience, and resistance, etched in flesh. Headhunters in the border that bit look at a map of Papua New Guinea, and you'll notice a peculiar kink in the international border with Indonesia. That strange bite in the line, it was shaped by headhunting. In the late 19th century, British colonial forces struggled to police southeastern New Guinea. Tribes along the border were notorious for taking heads in warfare, a practice tied to status, power, and spiritual belief. To reduce cross-border violence and improve patrol access, the British redrew the border, cutting a jagged corner deep into the interior. This allowed their forces to chase headhunters without technically entering Dutch territory. It's a reminder that tribal customs didn't just shape community life, they literally reshaped international geography. Today, headhunting has long faded, replaced by oral histories, ceremonial spears, and fierce cultural pride. But that kink in the map remains, a scar left behind by a clash of ancient tradition and colonial power. Skull caves and smoked mummies high on the cliffs of Milne Bay and deep in the jungles of Aseki lies something truly haunting. Skull caves and smoked mummies. In some regions, the dead were not buried but preserved. Bodies were carefully positioned on bamboo platforms above fires and smoked for weeks. The skin darkens, the flesh tightens, and the features remain intact. These aren't horror stories, they're ancestral shrines. For the Anga people, mummification was a way to honor warriors, keep their spirits close, and protect future generations. The bodies, sometimes posed in thoughtful positions, are displayed in sacred cliffside crevices, watching over their descendants like guardians. Elsewhere, skulls of ancestors are collected in caves and treated with utmost respect. Some believe the spirits within these remains guide hunters, bless harvests, or even appear in dreams. To modern eyes, it may seem eerie, but to the people of Papua New Guinea, it's reverence, death not as an end, but as transformation. The singing dogs of the mountains in the highlands of Papua New Guinea. There's a creature so rare and strange, some believe